What's so top secret you need your own phone line?
Boy talk. Oh, Kyle, you're so dreamy, Kyle.
I heard that talking on the phone all night gives you warts on your ears.
Can it really?
Annie.
Of course not. She just made that up, as always.
Well, I am Grant from Screen Rant. Very excited to chat with you, Brec, for The Man in the White Van. Such a gripping film from start to finish, and I love Margaret as pent up as she is. She's also a real sweetheart. What was it like for you, finding the heart of that character?
I know I'm biased. I also really love Margaret. I think as an actor with a character, it's always your responsibility to reason with them. Like, no one ever thinks they're being rude or a bad person. There's always a reason why they're communicating the way they are. So I think just finding her insecurities and the oppositional dynamic with Annie and why it's that way, it was really fun. And Madison's like so talented and such a sweetheart. So getting to like banter back and forth with her on set was so fun.
Well, and that was something I wanted to ask about was, that is one of the big relationships in this film. And so, what was there one scene maybe where you felt it really clicked between you and Madison that, you had found this sibling dynamic together?
Yes. It was just the bickering. So I have two older brothers and we bicker like crazy, but I would die for them. I love my brother's my roommate. Like, I love him so much. And there's a scene in the bedroom where Allie comes in. I'm trying, Allie, the mom, call her by her real name. I'm like trying to get her to put the phone in, and she comes in and she's talking about the white van. And I say something really horrible to Annie, but I think it was just the back and forth dynamic where we kind of just got to one up each other. That was really fun. But then behind all of that, still having an element of like sisterly love, which was really important to me.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm the oldest of three, so I'm sort of the flip of you there. But
okay,
totally
I see you. Yeah.
Don't worry, no ribbing here. I'll keep it light. And so obviously then as things progress, though, things become much more dramatic and very physical as well for both you and Madison. What was it like, shooting the tenser moments of this film, let's say, in comparison to the sisterly banter?
Yeah. Once again, I just have to give so many props to Madison. Like, she worked her butt off on this film, from like the horses to then the climax of the film where she's just getting tossed around. Like, showing up to set and seeing her give 100%. It was so inspiring. We're like, I really wanted to show up for her. Cause I'm like, if she's going to give it her all these days, I need to as well. Just having like an actor, a partner on set like that, it's such a good opportunity for growth. And I feel really lucky to have gotten to be next to her.
Well, I'm glad that you got to be a part of it as well, because you really do bring a lot of great stuff to this film. And so you're obviously no stranger to a lot of wardrobe when it comes to, I see Stargirl right there over your shoulder. But at the same time, I mean, this is a period piece, and Margaret's her wardrobe is so particular compared to Madison's. What was it like, working with the costume department for that side of things?
So we had a beautiful, wonderfully talented costume designer. Her name is Tiger. And we worked so hand in hand. Most of the clothes are properly 1970s vintage. But I feel like as an actor, like, the wardrobe is such an opportunity to add to the character. And Tiger did such a good job with that. And once again, going back to like the sisterly opposition, like Margaret's clothes compared to Annie's clothes just immediately helped me like get into character. And it was so fun. I actually got to keep a couple of things.
That's awesome. Good for you. Mum's the word on my end. So, talking about their very difference in characters, why do you think it is that Margaret's maybe more willing to be the really conservatively dressed and proper acting daughter versus Madison's more rebellious nature?
I think that's the beautiful thing about families, is like you always kind of go more, from my experience, more towards one of the parents. And I think Margaret very much followed suit of her mother, and Annie was kind of more similar to her dad. And I just like, speaking for myself, like, I'm an exact mix of both of my parents, but leaning into like Margaret's side. And like, even with this role, I had so many conversations with my mom because she grew up in the 70s. And so I feel like it's just kind of like the family dynamic of their family.
That does make a lot of sense now that I think back on it. We do see you more with Allie and her more with Sean, so that totally makes sense. But I love the way it plays out. I can't wait for people to see it. I see I'm out of time already, so I'll get on out of here, Brec. But thank you so much for taking the time. I truly do appreciate it.
I have had it with your wild imagination.
Nobody's following you, Annie. You're not even pretty.